His intention was always to get back in the car. That company on the side of the car, Devotion, it's a woman-owned team, protein powder company. They heard that he wanted to come back, and they wanted to back him. And this is their first foray into NASCAR. And you should have seen the smiles today. So excited to be here, be part of this. As you see, we have an incident on the track.
First time.
Right now, car's pretty good, Adam.
First time in over 10 years.
Caution is out for Mason Massey, our second yellow of the day.
You see a left front tire down. I'm not sure if this came from contact or not, but
That's
this is something we see very common here at Auto Club Speedway, where if you have too much camber in your left front, your air pressure is too low, and you get down on the apron too early in a run, it does a lot of damage to the shoulder on the tire, and you see some failures happen because of that. So I don't know.
City. In 1933, the groundbreaking of the Golden Gate Bridge. That makes me think of Sonoma. And in 1967, one of the best ever, Mario Andretti wins the Daytona 500. And the script says, insert Logano story here.
Well, Mario Andretti is
opening stage in Fontana.
If I'm Noah Gregson, I might be saying thank you very much for giving me second instead of eighth.
See a big push for Cole Custer there to Trevor Bayne. Kind of clear the 18 of there. Oh, it's going to be tight. This is going to be big here.
Look at Ryan Sieg, 39, down on the white line coming through to second. Maybe not.
I think Cole was expecting him to go to the bottom, and he stayed up in the third lane.
It all worked out for Trevor Bayne, and look at his young teammate, Ty Gibbs, in that black and green 54, making a push.
So Gregson tried to make a move on Custer for second. Slowed up the hill, and Custer was able to get a big run. Ty Gibbs up into the top 5, into 4th.
See that 4th lane seems like the one that most cars are looking for. It seemed like it was like that in practice as well, both in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series.
Still there.
The veteran class there. Allgaier, Allmendinger, Himmer.
And Allgaier's car, just watch him go through that corner. Left side's right on the paint on the bottom, hooking it around. Didn't look sideways. Obviously, he's up to 5th from starting to 20th. It's looking pretty good.
Well, we all pretty much knew that Ty Gibbs was probably going to wind up front, even though he's never been here before. Trying to pass Gregson for 3rd. His car looks really, really good right now. Looking at the bottom of 3 and 4, and you have some cars like that when laps get on tires. You got guys kind of just creep around the bottom and have kept their tires under them and start going forward really well.
And like you said, Blaney, the bottom of 3 and 4, this end right here, works pretty good. Bottom of 1 and 2, not so much. It's a lot flatter down at the bottom of 1 and 2, and is also a ton of sealer, a lot of cracks. This is an old surface here at Auto Club, so you definitely have cars slipping around, but the bottom lane has a ton of sealer in it.
All 4 cars from Junior Motorsports inside the top 10. 9th and 10th, you saw them there. Barry and Mayer and Brandon Jones making it 3 wide on the outside. Jeremy Clements coming back in the 51. Keep in mind, asterisk on his run, those tires that he put on when they had that early issue.
Exactly. He's able to take advantage of them right now and get himself back with some track position, but he's got to hope for some long runs at some point in this race to save the set.
'68 Brandon Brown, '98 Riley Buxton. There he got a little
Bubba
push.
said, I got to go.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Hey, Brown right there in 11th, started 30th today. It got away from him in qualifying. He had a handful in 3 and 4, made the big save. Unfortunately, as a consequence of that, had to start deep in the field, but he's making up some early ground after a top 10 to start the year at Daytona last week.
And something I just noticed there, if you listen to the engine there for a second, he is barely on the gas through the corner, just feathering and feathering. These are long sweeping corners. Listen to him do this corner.
They're so long, and especially if you're running, up the racetrack, you'll get out of the gas, and then you'll you'll go back to 50% throttle, and then you'll go back to 20, and then 50, and then 20, and then it takes so long to get wide open. But it makes it incredibly fun. Hey, Regan, what do you got on Ty Gibbs?
All right, you see Ty Gibbs running up in the 4th position right now. A nice move forward for that race team. The guys told me before the race started, Ty was beating himself up after qualifying. He hit those seams that you guys were talking about. It slid the car sideways. He lost a ton of time. One of his goals early on here was to learn those seams, and both you and Joey know those seams are tougher here than any place else we go, as you were mentioning.
Yes, they are. They're very wide.
Allgaier almost lost it on the
Very
apron.
wide. You get caught on them, and I think that's probably what happened to Ty in qualifying. Is if you got to pick a lane and stay in it. When you start crossing those seams, it just really gets the car upset.
I don't know what the average age is of the top 5, but Gibbs is helping the average on the young side right at 19, and man, is he loaded with talent.
He's done a tremendous job. You notice it right off the bat when he won the Daytona Road Course. I was up here in the Fox booth when that happened. I was like, this kid's pretty good. And then he just keeps going along with it. Here's a battle for the lead. We just 5 to go in the stage. One up top, one on the bottom.
You saw Cole dip his left sides onto the apron below the white line. And that's probably the cleanest surface on the whole racetrack is the apron of 3 and 4. You'll see guys even put all 4 tires down there. You saw that in cup qualifying, and it's easy to upset your car, but
yeah, it is.
You know right. And Byron knows it, Chase knows it, everybody knows it. He's trying to go down there. I about wrecked, but it's so much grip. So you'll see a lot of people put their lefts down there just to try to get a little bit more traction.
On board with Riley Herbst.
See nose at the wall now.
Teammates for 3rd.
And I think that whoever figures out this wall, riding the wall in the corners first, you're going to see a ton of speed come out of those cars. And this is about the time of a run. It probably should start coming in. And with us a few laps to go, you might as well feel it out a little bit before you come down pit road. But this battle for the lead is something to stay on. This is going to be close right to the end. A couple guys not racing for points.
Absolutely.
Right. But they still want the stage win. I'm telling you, man, you always go for it. Drivers can't help themselves.
It's not just the stage win, right? But it's maintaining control of the race, knowing a caution is on the way. 3 wide for position. Mayer, Sieg, and Hendrick. That's for 10th. Actually, 8th to 10th is what they're racing for there. 2 laps to go, first stage.
We got a couple great battles. One for the lead, one for 3rd. And you kind of see them both running the 2nd place car behind that lead car. It's kind of running just a headlight out, a headlight lower. Both of them are, just to try to get a little bit of air. Because everyone, I think, wants to be in that 4th lane right now. But sometimes you have to peek down and straddle the 3rd or 4th lane. You never want to be on the seams like we've all talked about. You can straddle that lane, and it seems to be pretty clean. It actually has a lot of grip when you do that. And it will help your car turn as well.
And you saw the 11 car just starting to step up into that 5th lane. That's the one right up next to the wall. And that's the lane you're going to haul some mail in. But you gotta get comfortable up there. It may take a couple laps to build the confidence.
Yep. You got to get comfortable, and then you got to commit. You know, there's like different steps of getting to the wall and then committing to it to make time. As you see Gregson get really loose there.
First time.
So it's a tricky deal, especially early in the race.
And oh, happy birthday, Trevor Bayne.
It also changes the balance of your car.
Think
right?
about it, he's only 31 years old.
Going up there and got a feel for it so they can adjust on their car and be ready for this next stage.
Coming back to the green and white checkered flag to end the first
he got a feel for it there.
They
into
felt
the wall. Allgaier comes through. Trevor Bayne wins this first 35-lap stint. Cole Custer is 2nd. Then it's the 7 of Allgaier. Gregson, Ty Gibbs rounds out the top 5. And for the final point in the opening stage, give it to Sam Mayer. You know, only one time has a driver won a stage, went on to win the race in Fontana. His name, Joey Logano.
That's right.
Hey, your car looks great out there. You look crazy fast. Congrats getting the lead on the bottom. What do you think of the racetrack? How do you think the lanes are playing? And what do you think of the choose?
Man, it's a different game with the cheers. I'm surprised more guys didn't take the bottom after seeing us get the lead from us there, but
Man, ain't that bad. Pit stop really need a track position, as you guys know. But y'all let me know if somebody starts working that very top lane, because I want to be up there. Just a little too dusty right now, so I'd say we'll be ripping the wall here later.
All right, well, I got your radio right here, so I'll let you know. But good luck. Great to have you back in the Xfinity Series. Have fun.
Thanks, guys.
I'm starting to cheer. They are no more.
You know, we've seen the leader take the top every single restart, I believe, with Henry doing it there, and looks like. Oh boy, I spoke too soon. Yeah, I thought Ty was going to be able to clear him, but Daniel made a great run in that fourth lane, but he's going to be able to drag him back here.
This is that side draft we talk about dragging him back. See how it changed the momentum to the 54 car. He had the momentum. Now he's in a pretty good spot going down into turn 3. Probably got to clear him, I think, this time. Maybe I spoke too soon, too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who speaks too soon.
I'm saying nothing, by the way, on this one.
Watch out for Gregson. Oh, there we go.
There goes Gibbs. 3
And that's where you hope the splitter stays on as you slide through the grass, and it looks like it hung in there.
I think it did. That's
There's Jogi.
Aggressive side drafting, I believe, is what caused that.
on both ends.
The car don't look too bad, does it?
Really hard. And it was unfortunate.
It looked like it took a big dent, but all I see is a donut, though.
There.
I don't really see no dents, all I see is a donut.
You know, that puts them in a bad spot on their set of tires, and you just one lap. So we'll see what happens here.
See here. And you saw the aggressive slide draft down the backstretch. Here's one from the 11, and then just the timing was off at the 54 coming back up the racetrack to try to side draft off the 11's left rear quarter there. Already.
We saw Justin thinking about trying to put it in the middle of them. Like, oof. That was an aggressive move by Cole to take the air off the 9, and it paid off for him. Taking that left. The run with the big run. 4 wide.
4 wide, boys.
Making his presence known.
3 wide.
Wow, look at the run the 16 had down the backstretch. Those runs are so much fun, aren't they, Blaine? When you get one off the top and you're 5 mile an hour, 6 mile an hour faster than everybody.
Oh yeah, it is great, but there's no worse feeling than getting stoned up on the bottom a little bit and knowing that you're going to get put 3 wide or someone's going to blow by you. It's such a momentum game here at this track. You see AJ, 2 cars got side by side and pull off the wall, and he was able to just stay up by the wall in the front stretch and get a big run. And it's probably
7's gonna get in there. AJ had a wicked restart there, though. He got a whole bunch of cars.
You know, I was talking to Jamie McMurray this week on Race Hub, and he said, in California, you can get 2 for 1 a lot because of what you talked about. 2 guys get side by side, you pull up in their wake and then hammer by. Fun to watch, you know?
It really is. A lot of slicing and dicing. Here's a look at the 9 car.
you see the 9 go down the side draft, and AJ is like, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Oh, and Buck got the right rear.
Merry Christmas.
The 7.
What means more there for AJ? The push he's getting from behind or jumping outside that wake and going around the 2 cars in front of him? What helps more in that situation?
I mean, I think the fact that they just opened the door for him. You know, I think in that case, the 9 was so concerned about the 7 underneath him and trying to side draft him, he forgot there's other cars on the racetrack. And they're still racing each other pretty hard here.
We're going to have 7 laps to go on the stage. And I don't know if you noticed, but Brandon Jones, who had to come down and get those tires because of the spin, I mean, he might win this.
Custer's gone.
Already back up inside the top 8.
He feels great, for sure, on the fresh rubber and able to make boatloads of time. And you said it, he might win this stage. He's got to.
I'm here for it. Now, it might not work out later, right? I mean, he's out of balance now, so he has to have everything work out for him to have a chance to win this thing late. But man, and his teammate doing the same thing. Ty Gibbs is with him.
Yeah, but this is your chance to get a bunch of points. You know, you lost your track position. You're not in a good spot for tires later on, but get what you can while you can. And their advantage right now is tires. Get all you can get with them. There's some good racing here.
cruising right now. But behind him, anybody's guess on the finishing order of the stage. Allgaier, Gregson, Allmendinger, Hendrick, and we mentioned Brandon Jones. Jamie?
You guys mentioned the good run by A.J. Allmendinger. He's up to 4th right now. He's saying he just needs a little bit of help. He's struggling in 3 and 4. He said, I get that great run, and then it just won't turn. Something else his team told him to keep an eye on and be mindful of. Don't run the wall too much that you're going to put yourself in a position to hit the wall. They all have to race these cars next week at Las Vegas. They do not want to wreck this primary. So something a lot of these drivers are thinking about when they run the top long.
That's a great point. I mean, this race next week basically being treated as a doubleheader. When we're done today, you can work on the car a little bit. NASCAR going to seal them off. So if you crash a car, not only do you go to a backup, you start at the rear in Las Vegas. You want to avoid that at all costs.
And that probably explains a lot why there is nobody running up next to the wall. It's got to be so attractive. And I want to go there. It's faster. I know it. I feel like if you're racing for the win, it's going to happen. But the fact that no one's up there, it might be dirty, right? Someone's got to go up there and clean it off too now.
You know, especially with all that, the resin that they put down. You don't know what can stick in it. With everyone running a lane, half lane off the wall. Daniel Hemrick's starting to kind of creep up there. I've noticed the last few laps, but I think if we get to the last stage of this race and we get a long run, I think you'll see guys starting to play with it a little bit.
Cole Custer up front, he doesn't have to. He's checking out, looking good.
We mentioned how important it is to take control, and you go on the other end of this. Trevor Bayne is running outside the top 10. They had the bad pit stop. They lose the track position. So hard to get it back.
Yeah, you see, he really hasn't made up many spots sitting 11th. He ran really well in that first stage. He lost the track position. Now he just seems like he's stuck back there right now.
And it's so hard because, when you lose track position on a pit stop or whatever it is, and now you have to make ground up in a track like this where it chews tires up. You're working really hard. You're using your tires up, and then before you know it, you're in big trouble and your tires are gone. So as we see Brandon Jones get another spot with those tires, I don't know if we'll get there for the stage win. They might get second.
He's probably going to get second here, and he's done a good job getting through the field. And you said tires gone at the perfect time because Noah Gragson was sideways. When he set down at 19, nice and straight with those new tires. That's the difference.
With Noah, though, you don't really know if that's a tire thing or just the way he's driving. He likes to let it hang out.
You see the 7's hung out a little bit, and you see really from the center off right there to 19 made up a ton of time on the 7 and carries that momentum down the back straightaway. This is where you just go where he's not.
Even quarter bumper.
He's not going to be able to stop that.
You got to make the most of a bad situation. Spin out, middle of the stage, get tires, come back, get 9 stage points, and just hope it all works out later in the race.
And now you just got to hope that there's no late caution if you're Brandon Jones. I mean, that's what's going to hurt you. So you never know. You never know if things get running long here and there's maybe no caution in the final stage and you can just put one set on. But it is a tricky situation. But like you said, making the most of the spot that he's in.
A lot of times in these races, if there's a lot of cautions early, it goes green late. Not many cars left.
Stage 2 in Fontana, the Cole Custer Invitational. He's now led 21 laps today, and he takes the green and white checkered flag. Jones comes back to get second. Allgaier, Gregson, and Gibbs your top 5. JQ 48.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be good for us, but we only got 15 laps on tires, and the ones we got in here have more laps than that, so we're not really going to put them on.
But it gets better as the run goes, so not overly happy to see this caution with only 25 to go. Justin Allgaier, he made the right rear of that race car too angry early. That means he got it greasy, which made the car not handle as well. Jamie?
Sam Mayer, the one we were just talking about, said it's the best the car's been all day. Little adjustment in 4 fresh sneakers. Noah Gregson in the meantime, in the 9, overshot his pit box. They had to push him back. He had a bag on the grill. 4 tires here. Tread bar adjustment. Remember, he came in at the lead. Let's see how costly.
See if anyone spins their tires in that top.
3rd place, but Alfredo's first. The second. What?
They were a little squirrely getting going outside. That traps Mayer. It traps Custer. Barry going the wrong way. Look at Trevor Bayne getting with it down to the bottom portion of the racetrack.
Brett Moffitt up to fourth in that 0-2 car.
Look at Ty Gibbs through that corner, just hanging on. He can't do anything about it.
But don't forget he didn't pit. He's got old tires. He's got almost 40 laps on his tires. Remember, he ain't got no tires left, remember? When he spun out, he used his tires up.
They got their pit stops together. I think he gained a spot or two on that.
From the 9, he's going with his teammate. And if Trevor Bayne could have cleared the 7 there, it would have been a big help to winning the race for him. Now he's stuck at the bottom. He's going to lose another spot to 8 and probably to Cole Custer as well.
And how about that in half a lap? Side by side for the lead, and now you're back to 5th.
Gregson out of line, trying to get by his teammate and reclaim the top spot. In the last 50, 60 laps, he has had the strongest horse, and as we come to 20 to go, once again, it will be the 9 in charge.
That thing's firing off really, really fast. I'll be curious to see if he can maintain that over the next 20 laps.
Nope, got one blowing up, I think, here.
Mike Snyder. The big crash late at Daytona, smoking here and on the apron.
A little 2 for 1.
Wow, look at the 7s in the fence, too. Lost a lot of momentum. That's going to really put him out of contention here, I think, with 20 to go. Losing that many spots.
Uh-oh. Teammates.
Uh-oh. Dale's going to have an interesting
He's got a tire going down now.
A lot to talk about on the Dale Jr. download.
Barry up to 3rd. Custer is now 2nd, only a half a second back of Gregson.
We got the race now. We got Gregson leading, Custer 2nd. 2 incredibly fast cars. 19 to go. It's going to be really exciting.
He's here at 31. Oh, boy. Looks like he just took off and he got the fence pretty good there. Here's the 7. Looks like the 8 just packed some air on him.
A little bit like what we saw early in the race when he was behind Austin Hill, right? I mean, it's a similar situation.
No, right. A little bit different. Before with Austin Hill, Josh was kind of pushing him down the front there. It just looked like Josh was being pretty aggressive on trying to take air off of Justin's car, and just got Justin overly loose, and unfortunately ended up in the fence.
I appreciate you being nice and critiquing my evaluation of what happened there. A little bit different. You could have said that. That is tight. On board with Riley Herbst, sliding up in front of the 2 of Sheldon Creed. They're both in the top 10.
You look at the leaders here. The 9 is not driving away this time. Cole Custer, who has had the dominant car, has track position, is not stuck. Great race to the end.
Allgaier now back in the 5th position. There you go.
Yeah, deep breath. That's way. And he hasn't kind of the bleeding stopped here. He's 5th. He's on the 18th bumper. He's got the 1 car behind him, but I think he's maintained. Well,
here comes Custer.
Up here for the lead
as he goes dives to the bottom, all the way down to the grass, trying to just get his quarter pin on the exit so he can slow him down. He's not going to lose a lot of time down the frustrated run this time.
I think this race is going to turn into whoever. Once you get so many laps on your tires, it's so hard to make the pass on the bottom. And
yes,
the 9 is just going to put it up top. He's going to put it in the 4th lane if he has to, maybe at the wall, but make it really tough for Custer to be able to drive under him. But wow, Custer really good run. The 9 is super loose.
Great 1 and 2. Gonna get under him. Now this one's gonna be hard for the 9 to defend here as he has position on him going into turn 3. The 9's gonna have to have a great corner here. And the 7 kind of missed the bottom, though. 7 did. Here comes the 9 with the run. Is it enough to cross him over?
Just stay away close enough.
Nope. That's a big move for Cole Custer there to grab the lead with 15 to go.
And a reminder, if you tuned in for NHRA qualifying live from Phoenix, it's on FS2. We'll get you to the desert. When we are done here, 15 laps to go, NASCAR Xfinity Series, Cole Custer is the new leader. He just passed Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, Trevor Bayne, Justin Allgaier, your top 5.
tell you who's running the fastest cars on the track is Josh Berry.
Yes.
He's moved up to the fence. He's been running it for a handful of laps. Now Noah sees it, and Noah's going to try to do it because he has to do something. Noah has to change his lineup. He knows he's not as fast as the 07 and kind of running away, so he's got to do something to try to run it back down.
Yeah, what I saw there is the 07 being able to run. It creates a lot of side force and down force, and that's where these drivers are able to find speed. The closer you get, the faster you go.
Who's a late model graduate out of the Nashville, Tennessee area, and has really been something since he hooked up with Dale Jr.
He's a pretty smart racer. You don't see Josh Berry get in trouble very often, right? You don't see him wreck many cars. He seems like he's pretty in control, and that's going to get you a long ways throughout the regular season into the playoffs. Now, sometimes the playoffs force you to race a little bit harder and you feel comfortable, but for this part of the season, it's probably a good trait to have.
Great day for Trevor Bayne.
A really great day for Trevor. We said earlier we saw him up front. Early on in the race, had some trouble in the pits. But they got their pit stops together. They've worked on their car a lot. And Trevor seems to be, he's running Barry down. He's putting great lap times down. It's great to see Trevor have a good run after so long away from the series. It's cool to see him jump in his first start in this 18.
When you talk Toyotas, typically it's all Joe Gibbs Racing, right? Let's give some love to Jeffrey Earnhardt, who's had a very difficult day, a lot of back and forth throughout the field, driving for Sam Hunt Racing. And next weekend, you're going to have John Hunter Nemechek behind the wheel. They don't have enough funding for one driver to run them full time, so they're kind of nickel and diming this thing. We saw Ryan Truex last weekend at Daytona, but across the board, Sam Hunt has done a wonderful job building his organization. And on a day when Jeffrey Earnhardt couldn't even make a qualifying lap, to be in the top 15, knocking on the door of the top 10, that says a lot about him and where this race team can go.
Yeah, top 10 for that team would be huge, but something not to forget about. When you keep switching drivers out, that's very challenging for a race team. You can't get used to a driver, the way they communicate, that chemistry, what certain things mean when a driver says something, or even the crew chief, to the driver. And it's hard to build on that. So having a solid run like you see here for that race team is pretty big.
Saw Brett Moffitt in 10th, trying to get Our Motorsports their second top 10 of the year, and we get a caution. Debris, turn 1, 9th yellow of the day. Two things, the choose and the restart. Blows a tire. Suarez now in position. Bush back in front of him. This is outstanding. Unbelievable. Austin Dillon wins it.
How do we look even good any day?
6 laps to go. It's about to get really good in Fontana, California.
Ryan had a good start.
Everybody prepare yourself for an awesome wreck.
Dives to the bottom, slide right up.
He better slide up quick.
Ronnie's gonna get around his hair. He's there. He's in.
Custer to the outside, takes the top spot on the restart.
It's a good effort. He's
I mean,
sending
that was
one down
his
there.
chance.
Yeah.
Trevor Bayne hanging in the 18. Josh Berry is there in the 8. Sam Mayer running the apron in the 1.
Comes a run from Noah Gragson up against the wall. Gets underneath Trevor Bayne.
5 to go. Keep an eye on the 9 of Noah Gragson. Here we go.
There's the vision to the top side.
Bottom lane is getting up now. There comes Anthony Alfredo on the bottom.
He is charging.
He's got a hold. He's got a hold on the bottom too. Come on.
There goes a turn. 19's around. There goes Jones.
Jones around. The caution is out one more time.
Things are just getting better and better for Anthony Alfredo.
And not
I know.
what they wanted to see if you're Joe Williams Jr. on the pit box for.
I think he's going to be top 5
Brandon Jones. I
or
mean,
6.
he's had a long day.
He's gonna be
They've done a good
5th.
job of getting him back up to run, and finishing a good spot. Lined up 5th there, and unfortunately got doinked.
All guy or chooses behind me, Stevie, just know he's gonna put me 3 wide or try to on the bottom. He did it every time the last race here from the cars that I watched. So
Pretty cool to see Trevor Bayne back.
That's good.
31-year-old.
That shows he's putting the effort on there.
I think I'm in Bubba's reflection on this. Steal one today.
And Pat, one of the great veteran Christians, right?
Absolutely. I love the move. I love the gamble. It's paying off. They were coming from that far. And, I mean, he's living up.
Start by the 18. Top lane's way more formed. Way more formed than the top.
It's Trevor's shot here to try to make something happen.
Oh, there's going to be a gap behind him here. Get in. You're good. Clear. 2 wide behind
See
you.
the 23. He's got the tires. He's going to slot in the 4th.
Custer pushed way out front. Gregson pushing Bayne. The 23 is Anthony Alfredo. He's working that bottom lane.
Oh, that's gonna
ruin his run
right here.
Yeah. Outside. Get tight. Good run.
I made it to the white flag. Oh, caution before the white flag.
And it came out like this.
Hit the pit entry.
Barrel sand is everywhere.
They're gonna have to go to backup cars.
Oh, split down the center. It happened again.
Gregson gets by in that outside lane. Does he have anything for Cole Custer? And remember, once we get the white flag, the next flag would end the race, whether it be the caution or they get back to the checkers.
They gonna get to the white.
Come on, Randall, go.
Coming to the white this time. White flag.
2 miles left for Cole Custer.
Coles has such a superior car today, and he's done a great job. He's very patient early in the race, put himself in position, and then executed these late race restarts, which can be
2 final corners.
AJ Allmendinger trying to get back to the top 5. Dominating performance for the 07 today.
You can cruise now.
Yeah, great job by Cole Custer.
Right about. Nah, you can cruise it.
That whole group really had a super fast car and was able to get that Mustang in victory lane. So great job by them.
California
Cruise.
kid, Cole Custer wins at Fontana.
Oh, they side by side.
Great job, JP, Andy, everybody.
Congratulations to Bobby Dotter and everyone at SS Greenlight Racing. You never
sponsored the race today. It always feels up show here.
Damn.
now remember, Cole. Remember, we're going to take this car to Las Vegas, and you're not driving it. Save it for Joe Graff Jr., who is okay.
They might have reminded him.
There we go. He's got it going now. He's got it going now.
What the hell is he doing?
He's going for the length of the front stretch.
What do you think he's doing?
Burning rubber?
Pretty
No.
soon. Good burnout. Joey, you're a good burnout guy. I always come out. You always
It's
come
called
up
doing the
with something
same note.
unique.
Doing a little Tony Stewart, John Forrest on the front stretch.